Hello, beautiful people. Hope everybody's had a great week. I want to give you guys a big shout out, say thank you so much for the feedback and all the comments and messages. You guys are really awesome. So appreciate your support. Thanks for paying attention and listening and watching all that good stuff. So let's get down to business. I've been thinking a lot about age in the past week or so, especially after watching little clips of the presidential debate. I didn't watch the entire debate. My life's not that boring, so I definitely didn't tune in to watch the whole thing, but I did see several clips of it, and it's definitely not a good thing. It felt a little depressing to see some of those clips. It's actually a little terrifying to find out that the fate of our country lies in the hands of 80-year-olds. That's not a good thing, especially when those 80-year-olds are on television arguing over who's a better golfer. So if you're looking for a sign that we're in trouble, I don't know what other sign you're going to need to know that we're in serious trouble. So not a good situation to be in. Two 80-year-olds arguing over who's a better golfer. Those are our presidential candidates. So not a good situation to be in. We're all in it. And one thing about politics that I don't entirely understand is rooting for the other side to do bad or rooting for this side to do terrible isn't a very good plan, because we're all in the same boat. We're all doing this together. So rooting for the other side to lose is actually rooting for your own team to lose. So it makes no sense to me why we're fighting and yelling and screaming and cussing at each other, because we're all in the same boat, and hoping that the other person fails is essentially hoping that the boat that you're on sinks, and that just doesn't make any sense to me. So hopefully we figure this thing out. Hopefully we get this thing pulled back together before it's too late. Somebody told me one time not too long ago, or somebody explained to me that years ago we used to be a country of, for the most part, pretty similar people that were in different political parties because we were very similar people. We all wanted the same things. We all wanted, a good job, income, safe place to live, transportation, healthcare, retirement, things like that. We all wanted those same things. We just had different ideas on how to get there. So just two different political parties with different ideas on how to get to the same destination. And it seems that now what's really going on is that the political parties just throw that out the window, but we are just completely different groups of people trying to go in completely different directions. And to me, that seems unreconcilable. I don't see how we can fix that. If we have different ideas on how to get to the same place, I think ultimately we get there. If we have different ideas on what direction to go, I don't see the reconciliation there. So hopefully people smarter than me figure it out, but I don't see the reconciliation. I've been telling people close to me for quite a while that it feels like we're just circling the drain and it's only a matter of time. So we'll see. Time will tell. Nothing lasts forever, but it definitely looks like we're in trouble, especially if we've got, if you look at the leadership in this country, it's not real good. It's not real good. And I don't just mean it at one position. I mean across the board, we're in trouble. There's just issues all over the place, and nobody's accountable, and it's terrifying when people with that much power and that much say have no accountability. There's just no accountability at that level, and that's a terrifying situation to be in. So we'll see what direction it goes, but it's not a good thing that 80-year-olds are determining our future right now. It's a bad sign. And I think if anybody watched those clips or watch the debate in its entirety, realizes that we're in a bad situation. And if you saw any of it, or if you've been paying attention to politics for the past, I guess, 8 years now, and you don't think we're in trouble, I'd love to hear your side of the story, because I don't see it any other way. It looks like we're in trouble, and I don't see a solution in sight. Looks like, to me, direction determines destination. This is the direction we're going, and I don't see. Looks like we're headed off a cliff, and I don't see any exits before we get there. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully I'm wrong. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of making predictions, but looks like we're headed off a cliff. I don't know how far out. I don't know how fast we're going, but it doesn't look good. We could be circling the drain. Maybe we're not. I hope not. But it doesn't look good from where I'm sitting. I'm definitely not a political expert. So, but if you are looking at the current state of the union, and you don't think we're in trouble, I'd love to hear why you don't think so, because it looks pretty rough from where I'm sitting, and I think the average American feels like we're in trouble. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. If you don't feel like we're in trouble, I'd love to hear why you don't think so, or I'd love to hear some good news, because I see a lot of bad stuff out there. So I'd love to see some good news on why you think we're gonna be able to turn this thing around. But thinking about the age of the presidential candidates had me thinking a lot about age in general this week, and just by circumstance or happenstance, I had a couple come in the furniture store today. It's an elderly couple, and they were walking real slow coming into the store, and they're elderly, and they're taking their time throughout the store, and they're moving really slow, and kind of hunched over, holding each other's hands, using furniture to hold each other up, and just taking their time. And I'm checking on them, making sure they're doing good. They're just looking around. I can tell they're probably not in the market for furniture. Usually people get to a certain point in their life where they're not remodeling or buying furniture. They have everything that they need, and they're not out replacing furniture, but they're out shopping, they're out looking around. Maybe the wife's looking for something, a rug or something. But anyway, so they're in the store, they're doing some shopping, they're taking their time. I'm trying to stay out of their way but be helpful at the same time. But anyway, they picked out a couple things, and but while they were in there, I try to chat people up, make sure they're doing okay, make sure they're doing good. And whenever they were checking out, they picked out a couple items. But whenever they were checking out, because while they were shopping, I was giving them the prices of the items that they were interested in. And whenever they went to check out, the total was quite a bit less than what the prices I had told them the regular price was. And the older gentleman was like, "Well, did you get they got some smaller items and a rug, or I guess you don't know, I'm telling you now, but they got a couple small items in a rug." It's like, when they asked about the rug, I told them the price. When they asked about the other items, I told them the price. Well, they went to check out, the price was a lot less than what I quoted them on the price. And he's like, "Oh, did you forget the rug?" I said, "No, I got it in there." And I gave him the price again, and he kind of looked at me like, "Well," he said, "You're shorting yourself." And I said, "No, I'll be all right. I'll be fine." Because in business, what people don't realize is that a lot of times what we do, especially as small businesses or a small business owner, is it's not always about the sale. It's not always about the money. Sometimes there's things you can do to help other people. Because these folks, they probably didn't really need the items that they were buying, and I don't really need the money, but it's something that they wanted, and I wanted to do something nice for them, because I could tell it was difficult for them just to be out and about. They weren't moving around real well, and like I said, they were, and I snapped a picture of them while they're in the store. So if you happen to catch this on YouTube, I post this on my Facebook, so go to my Facebook, I'll post a picture in the comments. But I snapped a picture of them while they were in there, because they were just kind of a cute couple. But it was a reminder to me that there's a day coming where I'm not going to be physically able to do the things that I want to do. Time catches up to all of us. Injuries, age, these things catch up to us, and there's going to come a time where we're not physically able to do anything. But yeah, I snapped a picture of him, and he's an elderly gentleman, but he's carrying her purse, and they're holding hands, and he's holding himself up on a piece of furniture, and she's holding herself up on a piece of furniture, and it was a cute moment for them, but it was also kind of a reminder for me that this thing that we're doing right now doesn't last forever, and it's important to get out there and get something done while you can, because you're not going to be able to do it forever. But anyway, so we, as I was checking him out, like I said, we gave him his total. He's like, "Hey, you're shorting yourself." I said, "Hey, don't worry about it. It's all good. Glad you guys came in today. Really happy got to see you, got to meet you, that kind of thing." Anyway, so we paid out, and he went to start grabbing the stuff, and I was like, "Hey, I'll carry it out, don't worry," because I knew he was going to need to be holding her hand, because she wasn't getting around as well as he was, and he wasn't getting around really well, and she was getting around slightly worse, so I knew he was going to need to help her get to the car. So I grabbed the stuff, and I catch the door, and we start walking out, and of course there's a step as you go out, and there's a step off the sidewalk, and as we're kind of taking that slow little walk to the car and through the parking lot, he said something to the effect of, "Hey, we move pretty slow, or we get around pretty slow these days." And I was like, "Yeah, no, that's okay, and that's all right." And he's like, "You're gonna move around slow one day too." And I just told him, I said, "Yeah, God willing," because I don't know that I'm going to make it to his age, and a lot of times when I meet somebody that's elderly, they always give me some bit of advice like, "Hey, one day you're going to be like this, or one day you're going to be slow, or one day you're going to be You know, and that's not guaranteed. Like, I know that's what, you know, that's not his intent. His intent is, hey, you know, I hope you understand that this is your future, and it possibly is if I make it that far. You know, I hope, and God willing, I do make it to that age, and I hope at some point in my life I am moving that slow, because the alternative is I'm not moving at all. You know, so yeah, God willing, I'll make it to his age, and I will be walking through a store carrying my old lady's purse, and we'll be holding hands, holding each other up on a piece of furniture, just browsing on a Sunday. You know, like, that sounds like the good life at their age. You know what I mean? No matter how fast you're moving, you're out and about, you're living your life. And but anyway, so I helped him pack their stuff in the car, shook his hand. You know, we got exchanged first and last names, and you know, wish each other well and all that good stuff. And as I started to walk back, the passenger side door was still open where his wife had got in, and she kind of had this, you know, this smile, grin on her face, and she was like, you know, come here. So I walk over there and I lean in, and I was like, yes, and she's like, he's 80 and I'm 74, you know, and she just had this smile and just this joy, this pure happiness of, you know, just it was almost like you could see in her eyes and see in the smile on her face all the life that they had overcome together and all the things that they had done. I mean, you know, who knows how many kids and grandkids and great-grandkids and ups and downs and difficulties and challenges and all the things that life threw at them. And, you know, and here they are, 80 years old and 74 years old, you know, still together, still getting out and doing things and spending time together, and you know, going out and getting stuff for the house or whatever the case is. Like, but she was just so excited, and I've noticed that about, you know, elderly people, is that they're proud to tell people their age. You know, when you get to a certain age, I guess that's just part of growing old, is you get proud of it. You get, hey, I made it, I did this, you know, because it's not easy, it's not simple. Like, it's not, you know, nobody's got it easy. I don't think anybody's got it easy. I think there's, you know, television, social media, has us convinced that people have it easy. There's a group of people out there that got it simple, and I don't think that's really the case. And sure, maybe some people do have it slightly easier than others, but life is hard on everybody. Everybody has difficulties. Everybody has to deal with loss and challenges, and there's just a lot of negative things that happen in life, and nobody's immune to those things. So to get to 80 and to get to 74, you know, there's a lot to be proud of, because not a lot of people get there. And you know, it's not always your choice. I mean, I hear these stories all the time of, you know, a husband and wife, you know, they get together at a young age, they have kids, they raise their kids, they do make all the sacrifices necessary to raise kids. They work jobs, they get close to retirement, or they start their retirement, now they've got grandkids, and then something tragic happens to either the husband or the wife, like immediately, like, you know, husband has a heart attack and just drops dead, or wife, you know, goes to sleep one night and doesn't wake up, and all that future that you were looking forward to is just gone. It doesn't exist anymore. Like, and it happens in an instant, you know, and there's all these years that you had planned in your head of what you were going to do and how you were going to spend this time, and these trips that you were going to take, and these vacations you were going to go on, and these places you were going to see, and all of that's gone in a moment. It's just gone. So we just look at our futures like they're a foregone conclusion. Like, I've got time to do this later, or I can do this later. And we don't know that. We don't know there's only one person that knows, and it's not us. Like, I don't know when my time is up here. There's one person that knows when my time is up, and it's not me. And it could be 2 days, it could be 2 weeks, 2 years, it could be 40 years, you know? I mean, like I said, I met that man today, he was 80. I mean, I could have 38 years left. I don't know. And it's just crazy to think about, and this isn't something I tell a lot of people, but I guess I'm going to share it with you now. There was a time when I was really struggling, and when I went to the store to get groceries, when I made purchases, I actually picked items up that I was getting, whether it was a food item or shampoo or toothpaste or whatever, and I actually made my purchase of the size of the item I literally picked it up and looked at it, was like, am I gonna live long enough to buy this? Am I gonna live long enough to need this much of this? Whatever it was, like shampoo, toothpaste, you know, a bag of chips. Like, I was so down and out, I did not even think I was gonna live long enough to see the end of a tube of toothpaste, or especially not see the end of a large tube of toothpaste or a big bag of chips. Like, I was literally living that close to the edge that I didn't think I was gonna live to see another day, another week, another month. Like, I thought it was coming to an end pretty quickly. And that's, you know, not a good headspace to be in. But the reality is that if you can take that mindset and apply it to in a positive way to your life, because you don't know how much time you have. You don't know when your time is up. And we live our lives like there's just all this time at the end that we're gonna get, and we don't know that. You know, I don't know that I'm going to be 80. I don't know that I'm going to be with somebody that's 74. So many people that I know, especially being in business, I meet new people, so many new people every single day. I'm in industries where I meet new people every single day. And I meet husbands, wives, and, you know, next week one of them comes in and the other one doesn't, you know, or a husband and wife retire and they lose a child, like one of their kids passes away. You know, like, now their golden years are not their golden years. Like, they have this grief that they never planned on, never dreamed of, is now this burden that they have to carry for the remainder of their life. And this is not the time that they had envisioned in their mind. Like, they did not think that they were going to lose a child when they were in their 50s, or you know, there's just these things that happen in life that we can't predict. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what tomorrow's going to be like. We don't know. And we live like there's just so much life at the end that we're going to have to go do whatever to do these things. And like I said, it could be vacations, or start a business, or visit a place, or spend time with our family, or spend time with our kids or grandkids, or whatever this thing is in the back of our mind that we're going to be able to do later. We don't even know that that's going to happen. Like, we just don't know. But anyway, I'm getting kind of sidetracked, and I just had a lot of thoughts today about age and time, and like I said, when we were walking through the parking lot, and that gentleman said, you know, hey, one day you're going to be slow too, or you're going to be moving slow too. I said, hopefully, God willing, you know, because we just assume that that's going to be the case, and we don't know that. I don't know how much time I have left. Nobody knows how much time they have left, but yeah, God willing, I will be moving slow one day. I hope so. I hope so. And there was a time when I didn't hope so. So, you know, I don't know how this thing ends, but I think a lot of people like me just think that there's more there, and there just may not be. We don't know. You know, this could be it for me today, tomorrow, next month. I don't have a clue. You know, nobody has a clue. But yeah, God willing, I will be moving slow one day, and God willing, the person that I care about the most is going to be by my side, because that's another. I mean, that's a whole nother factor in the equation that's not promised. You know, so not only are you hoping to make it to a certain age or have a certain amount of time left, you're hoping the people that matter to you the most are going to be there too. Your significant other, your friends, your family, your brother, your sister, your kids. I mean, there's all these factors and we just assume that these people are going to be in our lives forever. We assume that we're going to be here forever. And, you know, maybe I had a reality check early on, or maybe I had a midlife crisis early on, but like, time is just so important and so valuable to me. And it frustrates me when I get around people, particularly young people or people my age or slightly younger than me. It just seems to me like they're just, and again, I don't want to say like I'm impatient. I know I'm impatient. It's two different things. Impatience is like in the moment, but there's also like on the bigger scale of like impatience in life. Like, at what point do you stop being patient in life and expecting time to be there at the end, or expecting things to happen, or I'll get to it later, or I'll do that project later, or I'll take that vacation later, or, you know, I'll start that business later. Like, at what point is it no longer later? Like, at what point do you get impatient with the big things? Because I know I'm impatient with the little things, and I get impatient with the people around me, especially young people. I'm like, and I'll give you an example. Somebody recently, somebody I work with, we had a conversation, and this conversation, this person's like, we were just having a back and forth about performance, you know, And this person was like, you know, one part of their conversation was, I'm only 26. I said, you're already 26. And it's two completely different mindsets. You know, you're saying I'm only 26 as if you're 16. And I'm saying you're already 26. Like, you could be retired in 4 years. You could be retired at 30. Like, what do you mean you're only 26? I don't even know what that means. Like, you're letting more time pass by because you think you're young. Like, why don't you just do it all now? Like, I tell people all the time, especially when it comes to business, like, I want to grow our businesses, the furniture store, the shop, the property company. Like, I want to grow these businesses, and I don't want to do it over a 25-year time. I want to do it in 2 years. Like, why do something in 20 years that you can do in 2? Why spend 20 years doing something you can do in 2 years? And I think about that when it comes to people as individuals. Why make because to me, working 50 years, if you work from the time you're 18, let's just use 20 to make it nice, simple, round numbers. If you work 50 years, if you work from the time you're 20 to the time you're 70, you're going to work 50 years. That's, from the time you're 20 to you're 70, it's 50 years. Do you really plan on working 50 years? Is that your plan? So from the time you're 20, in your mind, you're like, yep, I'm going to commit 50 years of my life to work, and then I'm going to retire when I'm 70. Is that really the operating system that you're on right now? I'm going to work for 50 years? Because that operating system, I think at one time everybody has that operating system downloaded in their mind, but you got to upgrade that operating system. Like, I don't operate on that 70-year retirement, 70-year-old retirement. I don't operate on that system. Like, in my mind, I should have retired 5 years ago. I'm on a completely different timeline than everybody else. And I get frustrated with people around me because they're on the I'm going to retire at 70, and I'm on the I should have retired 5 years ago timeline. So I'm anxious all the time. I'm in a hurry all the time. I'm impatient all the time because I feel like I'm late to my retirement. Everybody else is looking at the clock and looking at the calendar like they got, I got these, I'm only 26. They think they have 45 years of work left. So I'm trying to do something so completely different on a whole other paradigm that what they're thinking, they can't get their head around what I'm doing, and I can't get my head around what they're doing. And we butt heads, and it's a conflict of strategy. Like, I want to build something great. I want to build it quickly, and I want to build it fast. I want to build it good, and I want it to work, and I want it to help people, and I want to do it now. Like, I'm not trying to gradually do something over the course of 50 years. For most of my life, I thought I was going to work until I was dead. People in my family we're dirt poor. Like, we are what you call dog poor. We got tons of dogs. We don't have hardly food in the fridge, but we got tons of dogs to feed because we're so poor. I don't know why that's a thing, but poor people have tons of dogs. We're dog poor, okay? But nobody in my family retired. Like, that wasn't a thing. 401ks and no, you're speaking a completely different language. Everybody in my family worked until they went to the grave. There was no retirement. That's not even a thing. That was not conversation. Everybody knew in the back of their mind they were working until they were dead. Somewhere along the way, I figured out that I didn't have to do that. I don't know if somebody woke me up, something slapped me in the face. I don't know what caused it, but at some point I had a mind shift of I'm not going to work until I'm 70. I'm going to figure something else out. And that goal that I keep setting, it keeps getting pushed out. It keeps getting pushed out. It keeps getting pushed out. But in the past 5 years, I've done 30 years worth of progress towards that goal because I've thought about it and I've tried to figure it out. I'm trying to find ways to make this happen. So I've made more progress because I changed my mindset about it. I'm not thinking, hey, I got to bide my time and take it easy until I'm 70. I got to do this until I'm 70. I'm thinking, hey, I want to retire at 40. I'm 42 now, so I'm already 2 years late. I'll be 43 this year. So I'm already thinking I'm 3 years late. I'm 3 years past my retirement goal. So every day that goes by, I'm like more and more anxious, more and more like, I got to get this thing done. I'm not coming to work every single day thinking, oh man, I'm only 43. Got to ride this thing out and just put my feet up and coast for the next 30 years. Like that, it's so far away from the way I approach my life and business and money and finances and And I understand that other people don't get it. And like I said, they don't understand me. I don't understand them. But it's a completely different approach to life and to work and to finances. If you, trust me, if you feel like you're 3 years late to retirement, you're going to approach everything differently than if you think you've got 27 years of work left to do. I don't think I have 27 years left of work left to do. Because me personally, I would rather, let's just say I've got 2 years left. I would rather bust my you-know-what, do everything crazy insane, way above and beyond what's normal for 2 years, retire at 45, and add an extra 25 years to my retirement. That's just me. I would rather have 25 extra years to do whatever I want, whenever I want, than put my feet up and go to work every single day and just wait for 70 to get here. And I don't know what, again, I used to think the same thing. I was going to work until I was dead. Y'all see Renzo? He's saying hi. So, can y'all see him? But yeah, I am not on cruise control. I am not on the timeline of waiting until I'm 70 to retire. So it's a completely different mindset. And you know, that I promise you, that gentleman that I saw today that was 80 and that lady that was with him, like I said, I'm certain they're husband and wife, been together for who knows how long. But I promise you, if we had time to talk and I would have asked him like, hey, if you would have set yourself up in a way to where you and her could have retired at 45 instead of 70, would you have done it? And I promise you, I already know his answer. He much rather would have been with her, and she would have much rather been with him for that extra 25 years of time. So fortunately, we live in a world now where anything's possible, and if anybody's ever done it, somebody else can duplicate it and do it again. So when I hear somebody say I'm only 26, you do realize there are 26-year-olds that have so much money they can retire, they can do whatever they want. And I'm not saying everybody has to have it, and I'm not saying it's always about money, and I'm not saying everybody wants to retire early. But the idea that you're only 26 means absolutely nothing. Age means absolutely nothing. Like, I'm 42. I see these young guys, athletes, musicians are great examples. These guys have enough money for life, and they're in their early 20s. Like, what does age have to do with income? What does age have to do with money? The two things are not related whatsoever. They have nothing to do with each other. There's kids that are teenagers, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids that have YouTube channels that generate tens of thousands of dollars a month. Like, age has zero correlation with money. Now, I understand it used to, way back in the day. Yes, I understand that money had a correlation and time had a correlation with money. Times have changed. Things are different. The internet leveled the playing field. There's no excuse now. There's no reason why. There's no reason to say I'm only 26. There's no reason. Like, you have more skills. You grew up on more technology than I did. Like, you should have passed me by now. Like, you're looking at me like I should have or be or do something more than you because I'm older than you. Like, it's the opposite. Like, you should have used all these tools at your disposal to surpass me by now, so you don't have to live the life that I'm living, putting in the hours that I'm doing, putting in the work that I'm doing the manual labor because I'm not smart enough to do it another way. Like, you're 26. I'm jealous of you. I wish I was 26 with this technology and these skills. You know what I mean? Like, it's a complete paradigm shift. It's a completely different mindset. I promise you, if you start thinking and looking at life like, hey, I'm 3 years late for retirement instead of I have 27 years of work left to do, it'll change everything for you. It'll change, and again, age is just a number. It has nothing to do with anything. But what age does matter is how much life is going to happen to you between now and then. I've got a friend that, he's in his mid-70s, and every time I see him, oh, did you hear so-and-so died? Oh, did you hear so-and-so died? Oh, did you hear so-and-so died? I mean, people just start dropping dead at certain ages. Like, we don't live forever. We do not live forever. If you don't know that, let me be the first to tell you, we do not live forever. Your time is ticking. Your time is ticking every single day. Tick, 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 tick. And like I said, life is going to happen. You're going to lose people that are important to you. You may lose a child. You're going to lose your parents. I have people that
it has all they lost a parent as an adult, and it has almost destroyed their entire life. And again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't grieve and you shouldn't mourn, and everybody deals with pain and suffering and grief, and their connection to their parents is way different. I understand all that, but those people that are dealing with that sort of grief with their parents passing away, like I'm shocked that they're in that situation, that it's destroying their life now. Like I don't want to be rude, but I'm like, did you think you were going to live longer than your parents? Like, your parents are supposed to pass before you. What did you think was going to happen? So life is going to happen to everybody. People are going to pass away around you. And if you approach life like now, like right now, this has to happen like right now, because tomorrow is not promised for you, for the people that matter most to you, no matter what age they are. Kids, bad things happen to kids. Kids get sick. Kids pass away. Tragic things happen. I think I said something about this the last time we talked, or last time I talked to you. There's somebody that I know lost a child, and the child had a routine surgery. Routine surgery went bad. Child passed away. I did not know that. Someone else was telling me the story. Somebody that knows this person. So let me side note real quick. People are going to tell your story. People are going to talk about you no matter what. So go live your life, go do your thing, because people are going to tell your story for you anyway. So just go do what you have to do, because people are going to talk about you no matter what you do, whether it's good or bad or indifferent. People are going to talk about you, so go live your life. So anyway, somebody was telling me somebody else's story and told me that she knew the same person that I know, and that I knew her son had passed away. I did not know how or why, but this lady told me about the surgery and how it went bad. And at the end of the story, she's like, oh yeah, she got so much money. And I was just like, my stomach just turned. I was like, I'm sure she'd rather have her son back. She's like, oh, well, yeah. I'm like, well, no, you don't say somebody got paid because there's like that. Like, how bizarre is this to tell somebody else's story and be like, oh yeah, she got money out of that deal. Like, I promise you she'd rather have her son. But anyway, I tell you all that because when this lady took her son in for a routine surgery, like, she was not expecting to lose her son as a result of it. And these things happen all the time, and everybody's got that "it won't happen to me" syndrome. It won't happen to me. I won't be in a car accident. Nobody I know is going to be in a car accident. Nobody I know is going to be in this situation. Like, these things happen every single day, and you don't know when your time is up, and you don't know when anybody around you's time is up. Life happens to everybody. This thing's difficult for everybody, and you need to start living with a sense of urgency, because this thing doesn't go on forever, I promise you. And stop looking. And again, I don't know, maybe, I know it's probably weird. I'm 42 and I think about retirement probably more than most 42-year-olds, but I think about it because it matters to me. Like, I don't, and people make fun of me because I don't have a television, and I tell people I don't have a television. They think it's bizarre, but I don't have time for television. It's not important. I don't care what's on TV. What's important to me is retirement. Retirement's on my list of to-dos. Netflix is not on my list of to-dos. Like, my priorities are written down, and I'm way over time, but real quick, I'll add this. I write my goals on a board every single year, and I pursue them. Like, those are important to me. Like, I'm in hot pursuit of retirement. Like, that's a big goal for me, and people don't understand what retirement means, and it means something different to everybody, but to me, it's separating my time from income. If I can separate my time from income, that doesn't mean I'm going to go sit on a beach and, order drinks with an umbrella in them and sit on my butt all day, every day for the next 25 years. But it's going to allow me to do the things that I want to do with who I want to do them with. And it's going to allow me to give more of my time to organizations and things that I care about more than earning a living and making money and paying bills. So retirement doesn't necessarily mean put your feet up and do nothing for 25, 30 years, but it does mean separate your time from income so you can make a difference. And I want to make a difference in different ways other than just earning a living. So I didn't get to near as many notes as I wanted to today. I'm way over on time. But yeah, I'll touch on this again later. I'll watch this and see what else I missed, and I'll come back to it. But anyway, if I can leave you with anything out of all the rambling I did tonight, put yourself on the clock. Look at the time. Look at time. Look at your time, and stop looking down the pipe at 60, 65, 70, 75 as a retirement age. Get that out of your mind. Get it out of your mind. You need to set a retirement goal of 5 years from now, 4 years from now, 6 years from now, and figure it out. Figure it out. It can be done. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to jump off here. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the feedback. Like I said, I went really fast. I mumble, I stumble, I get sidetracked. So if I need to go back over something, let me know. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. I love you very much, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.